sight reading rhythm in 3/4 meter. But before we get to that, we need to look at something new. We're going to be adding a dot to a note today, so you're going to see some notes that have a dot. Let's look at the first example. We have a dotted half note. Now what the dot does to our half note is it adds a half note plus half of a half note. Well, what note is equal to half of a half note? A quarter note. Because a quarter note only gets 1 beat, and a half note is 2 beats. So half of 2 is 1. So when we look at a dotted quarter note, what we're looking at is a half note plus a quarter note, which equals 2 plus 1. So that equals 3 beats total. So our dotted half note is equal to 3 beats. All right, so if we see a dotted quarter note, we're going to be looking at a quarter note plus half of a quarter note. Well, a quarter note is 1 beat. And what's a note that's half of a quarter note? An eighth note. It only gets a half beat. So it's going to be 1 plus a half. So a dotted quarter note is equal to 1.5 beats. Let's go over to counting some rhythm or counting some notes in 3/4. All right, so 3/4 is our time signature. We know that the top number tells us how many beats per measure. So in 3/4, we have only 3 beats per measure. The bottom note tells us what kind of note gets our steady beat. And this 4 is a quarter note getting our steady beat. So let's go ahead and get ready to count some notes. We just saw this new thing right here, this dotted half note. And remember from our other slide, a dotted half note was equal to 3 beats because we had a half note plus half of a half note, which is a quarter. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. The way that we would count the dotted half note goes like this. 1. Do that with me. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1. Again. 1. Again. 1. Nice. Now, when we're counting quarter notes, there are not 4 here. I wonder why. There are not 4 quarter notes because there's only 3 beats per measure. So it only takes 3 quarter notes to fill a whole measure. And let's look at our eighth note pairs. I only see 3 pairs of eighth notes. And that is also because there's only 3 beats per measure. So those 3 pairs are going to fill up the whole measure. So let's go ahead and clap this with the count from top to bottom. Get your clapping hands ready. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1, 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and nice. Let's do that again. But let's go ahead and do it 2 times in a row with no stops. So we'll go from dotted half note to eighth notes, back up to dotted half notes, all the way back down to eighth notes. Get your clapping hands ready. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1, 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and let's do that one more time. Get your clapping hands ready again. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1, 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and nice. All right, we're ready to start practicing sight reading rhythm in 3/4. So step number 1, what is our time signature? 3/4. That means there's 3 beats per measure. Quarter note is our steady beat. Step number 2, what kind of notes or rests do we have? Well, let's see. We've got quarter notes. Those are 1 beat. Half notes, 2 beats. Up, and here's our new note, a dotted half note. And remember, it is 3 beats. It lasts the entire measure. And that's a half note plus a quarter to equal 3 beats. And no rests. That's it. Just quarter notes, half notes, and dotted halves. All right, let's go ahead and get ready to practice counting the rhythm. Now, if we make any mistakes, we will just keep on going and then fix them after we've finished sight reading the whole piece. So get your clapping hands ready. 1, 2, 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Uh-oh. I made some mistakes in here because I said a number that we don't actually even have right now to count up to. Remember, there's only 3 beats per measure, and I said 1, 4, 1, 4. And over here again, 1, 4. So I said that incorrectly. What I should have said is 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. Because there are only 3 beats per measure. So let's go ahead and fix these measures. Let's just clap measure 2 and measure 3 and measure 4. Get your clapping hands ready. 1, 2, 3, here we go. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. Okay, I think I fixed these measures that I have the half note and the quarter note. So let's go ahead and do it all over from start to finish. Clapping hands ready. 1, 2, 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Good. Another thing to remember is that as sight readers, really good sight readers, they look ahead. So if we look at this last measure here, measure 4 on the first system, we see we have a dotted half note. I already know that that's 3 beats per measure, so my eyes don't have to stay here the entire 3 beats. I can look ahead to measure number 5 on the second system so that I'm ready to clap this rhythm when it comes and it doesn't surprise me. So good sight readers look ahead. Let's do another one. Okay, step number 1, our time signature. We're in 3/4, that's 3 beats per measure. The quarter note is our steady beat. What kind of notes do we have? Well, I see right away, half note, quarter notes. Oh, and here's our new friend, the dotted half note. And no rests. Okay. Another thing I want to point out is that I see this same little rhythm pattern that we had in our previous example that was 1, 3. So I also see it at measure 5, and I also see it again at measure 7. So just remember, we're only counting up to 3. All right, clapping hands ready. 1, 2, 3, here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1. How'd you do? Remember, good sight readers, they look ahead. So here's an opportunity for me to look ahead. At the end of my first system with measure 4, I've got that dotted half note again. So I know it's 3 beats, so I can go ahead and look to the next measure, measure number 5, and see what the rhythm is there so I'm not surprised. Let's do it one more time. Get your clapping hands ready. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. 1. All right, here's your challenge. All right, the challenge is for you to clap this rhythm on your own. Use the steps that I taught you. Pause our video, and when you come back and you're ready, I'll give you the answer. All right, did you do it? Are you ready? Let's check our answer. We're in 3/4, 3 beats per measure. Quarter notes are steady beat. What kind of notes? Well, I've got quarter notes, half notes, and our new friend, the dotted half. No rests. So those are the only types of notes. Here is the answer. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1,